WGS-TV.
What is up, people? I thought today I'll bring you my Friday Night Smackdown review. I would just say that this Smackdown was really filled with matches. There was a whole lot of matches. So let's just get down to the crux of what actually happened during the night. It starts off with Big Show. He comes in. You actually just see him from the parking lot and he's still afraid of Alberto. Kind of funny because he's such a big man. And anyway, he comes into the ring. He's just complaining about how Alberto stole his championship away from him, because if you guys know that he lost it on a usual SmackDown night. So he still isn't happy about that. And then he goes on to say how he was attacked. He tried to make it like a big scene over what happened to him on Raw, because if you guys didn't know, when they did the contract signing, Alberto came to his apartment and hit him, and Alberto faked it. Alberto hit him on his shoulder. He tried to make it as if he got knocked in his head with a fire extinguisher and that he was terribly wounded. He tried to make it look like that. The WWE tried to make it look like that, but I don't know. I could clearly see through that he hit him on his shoulder. It wasn't as severe as they made it out to be, and now you had him actually crying about it. So, and the fans were booing the hell out of him. It was a good thing, like you say, Big Show, he's a person where he likes to get heel heat, because there was one guy who was saying, "You suck, Big Show." He made sure to add that into his dialogue. I thought that was kind of cool that he's actually really is talking to the crowd. I mean, the only person I can think of who actually puts the crowd into chants or speaking would be people like The Rock, or it'd actually be CM Punk. Very rarely do you see these guys who are on the mic nowadays ask the crowd for their opinions, or they hear something in the crowd and then they actually push it onto the mic. Very rarely you see that kind of thing. So I think we should do a good job there. You have Booty coming up. Booty is complaining, just saying like clearly that Big Show, you've blown all your opportunities and you shouldn't be squealing on the microphone. Instead, as usual, when anyone complains to Booty, what he does is he puts them into matches. So he tells him that, you know what, you're gonna be fighting tonight against Kane, and that's actually gonna be later on during the night. Then you also had, starting off with the first match, which actually was Cody Rhodes taking on Kofi Kingston. I thought it was a very good match. The reason being because Cody Rhodes got a lot of shine from the match, as well as Kofi Kingston. Recently he's been losing matches, but he's been doing a good job in his losing category, you could say, because he puts on a very good showing for the fans. If you look at just at the ending when he was trying to come into the apron and the way he actually positioned himself, because Cody Rhodes went straight for the disaster kick and he connected right in his jaw. Honestly, that noise of Cody Rhodes' foot onto Kofi Kingston's face was extreme. Thereafter, Cody Rhodes just drags Kofi Kingston back into the ring and hits the crossroads. It's over, and he actually picks up the win. He's also saying that he's moving forward in his whole career. He doesn't want to be in a tag team with Damian Sandow. He wants to be separate on his own. He's still running the whole mustache thing, and he also says that he wants to go towards the World Heavyweight Championship now. He's no more interested in the Intercontinental Championship or the US Championship. You also had the Great Khali. Great Khali actually took on Titus O'Neil. You can say that Khali's getting much more shine because I guess they want him in this Elimination Chamber setting, you could say, or they're just trying to push his character on SmackDown, because recently Khali's been getting a lot of opportunities ever since they made this weird, because Khali is aimed at entertainment at the moment right now. They just want these small giggles. If you think about his girlfriend diva is Natalia, which is completely weird, and on the side he's also got Hornswoggle, the midget. So you're trying to put the tallest guy and the shortest guy together with you can say a woman who does not show actually feminine characteristics, because Natalia has always been like, you can say how Beth Phoenix, they want to make her like this butch. That's what they've always wanted to do with her, and just putting them all together tries to make them look like a circus act for people to laugh at them or something like that. Because if you guys don't know, SmackDown is not only about wrestling content like how you look at Raw. SmackDown tries to look at entertainment in funny, humor, like other things. They tend to go into other things other than just wrestling. If you guys watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, after he actually destroys Titus O'Neil, he's kind of happy. He's dancing in the ring. Thereafter, Mark Henry comes out again. Mark Henry's made his return back into wrestling. All he does is he always comes in and he decimates anyone who's in the ring and leaves. This time he comes in, and you can say Khali tried his best. Khali hit him with 2 cross chops across his head, and the crowd was chanting because Mark Henry was on his knees. People thought, like, you know, what happened? Officer Mark Henry is getting a beatdown, but then he pulled off something that just made everybody shocked. People were actually clapping and screaming because he picks up Khali into the World's Strongest Slam. And come on, you're talking about Khali. You're talking about a really big man. And he lifts him up with ease over his head and he slams him straight down to the World's Strongest Slam. And that is just epic. epic in its own, because you need to take into account the size of Khali and how easily Mark Henry picked him up. If someone's got that clip, I mean, honestly, you should actually get that clip, because that was just freaking epic for SmackDown viewing, and for people to actually clap, that just tells you. Anyways, he goes onto the microphone. He says that he makes a really good point. He says like Booker T has this elimination chamber based on world champions and former champions. They all need to be in this match, and then they actually get a chance to go for the championship at WrestleMania. That's the main thing for this match. And what he said made a lot of sense, because he said, I was the strongest man. If you guys didn't know, he had a very strong reign. When he took over the championship, he was fighting people like Big Show. He had some feuds with Randy Orton. I mean, when Mark Henry had it, he wasn't fighting small guys. He was fighting kind of good wrestlers, and he was fighting Big Show in a whole lot of matches. That's what you have to take into account. He even broke the ring with Big Show during that same title reign. So that's something to take into account, that it's kind of weird that Mark Henry is left out of this. But we also need to take into account that he was injured for 9 months. That's why maybe Booker T didn't add him to it. And he makes it clear that I want to be a part of it. And then Booker T actually tells him, you're going to have your match against Randy Orton at the final match, which is actually the main event. You can be taking on Randy Orton. And it's kind of sad, because Randy Orton, he could have a possibility of actually losing his opportunity at the Elimination Chamber. Maybe they're just going to make him sit down, or he's either going to go to Raw, or he's just going to take some time out. Because if he loses that match, then what is there left for Randy Orton for WrestleMania? Think about it logically, I'm telling you. Anyways, you got the match between Kane and Big Show. And even before this, you had Daniel Bryan in the backstage laughing at Kane and just trying to poke fun at him that he's made it into the Elimination Chamber and Kane hasn't. And something tells me something's going to break here between this tag team. They're using this as a ploy to break their tag team, that, you know, like Daniel Bryan's rubbing it into Kane's face that he's in the Elimination Chamber, he did his job, but Kane couldn't do his job. And we also take into account is that Daniel Bryan has been coming out, interrupting Kane in his matches, causing him to lose, and Kane has been doing the same thing to Daniel Bryan, because he did it on WWE main event. And in this match, it was an okay match. It wasn't something that was so entertaining to actually watch, because even the ending of it, because you had Kane actually just waking up from a slam, and he's just waking up. It wasn't even like dialed up or anything. And you had a Big Show, he's also waking up from the ropes, and all of a sudden he just pulls straight into WMD and just hits him straight into the face. I mean, like, there was no build up at all. Both the men just woke up out of nowhere, no big moves, and all of a sudden Big Show just hits his knockout punch and it's over. I don't know, you guys can comment on that, but I found that ending part a bit too much for me to handle. You had Jack Swagger against Justin Gabriel, dominating match. Dominating. If you wanted to see the change that's come to Jack Swagger, I think this actually proved it. I told you guys, he's no more perfectionist, he's no more this person who's like how you see how the Kurt Angle where he's trying to be like, oh, I'm this gold medalist, or I'm this perfectionist, I'm the best at submissions. That's how Jack Swagger was. When he even had his championship, he was like, I'm the best world champion ever gonna be in the history. He was trying to be this guy just like what Damien Sandows' character is. Now he's not. He's really, really rough. He reminds me of a lot of edges, you can say, because you can actually see that if you look at his upper torso, he has been hitting the gym quite often. You can clearly see that, and he's trying this rage angry version. That's his character. That's why I'm saying it, because he just dominated. He actually hit a clothesline on Justin Gabriel, and Justin Gabriel's body actually flips a complete 360 and lands on his head. That's something you see freaking Brock Lesnar doing. He dominated him. He even hit the pump handle powerbomb he actually does, and thereafter he just hits straight onto his angle lock. And the other thing about it is that even before all these hard-hitting maneuvers, whilst Justin Gabriel is trying to go for assault from the top, he's jumping on the ropes from the apron onto the outside. Jack Swagger catches him in midair and throws him. When I say throws him, he grabs him by his two legs in the air and pulls him straight down. And his legs actually hit the corner of the apron and goes down. So you need to know is that Justin Gabriel's legs got injured. He was taken out from the air from Jack Swagger. So I think that's kind of cool. Jack Swagger did his thing and he won. He just won quite easily. He just tramped over him. He had Tensai beating Drew McIntyre. You could say 3MB because it was kind of a stupid match, because they tried to put 3MB, tried to give them some fame in this, and they didn't do much, because it wasn't even a match where Tensai actually won, because Tensai was about to win the match, and you had 3MB just slide in. The other two guys just slide in, and they just disrupted the whole match, and they just tried to hit on Tensai. And then you had Brodus Clay coming to Tensai's aid, because 3MB were almost killing him in the ring. Kind of funny as it is. And then after Brodus Clay helps him, you got them dancing in the ring, just making a mockery out of Tensai's whole character, because he's no more this Japanese warrior and all that stuff. Now he's just a dancing fat buffoon. The same way with Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay, the same thing. Both the men have enough strength and power to be strong wrestlers, but they're being made to dance like idiots. You should have people like Kofi Kingston dancing. Anyways, I don't talk too much about that. Let's go straight to US Championship. Antonio Cesaro took on Sin Cara, so I think he had enough time with Ryback. If you guys didn't know, Ryback has been versing Antonio Cesaro quite often, and he's been squashing him in all those matches. So they tried to give Antonio Cesaro a bone. That's all I can think about this. So anyways, he actually beat Sin Cara. I like the ending of it because he had Sin Cara jumping onto the corner and he thinks he's gonna jump. You know what move he's actually going for? He goes for a nice body splash from the top. He climbs up the top. He's about to jump. He jumps mid-air straight into the big elbow. And Antonio Cesaro actually picks up the win. I guess they're just trying to give him a win because he lost so much to Ryback. As well as the fans again booing him as hell because he's dressed up in all United States of America costume. Again, I mean, the championship needs to go to someone else. He had the championship for a long period of time. And I understand the ending of it was epic because you had Sin Cara actually jumping off the top and he goes straight into the big elbow, straight into his face. I mean, he flew into that elbow and thereafter he gets hit with the neutralizer. I get it. You gave us an entertaining match. But when it comes to a whole, people still boo him. People don't give a shit about him. And I mean, it's just you actually just pushing them. They also had some cutscenes for the Brock Lesnar stunt with the Miz. If you guys didn't know about it on Raw, Miz actually tried to interview Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar came on, just destroyed him. You also had other segments like CM Punk talking some more about The Rock. And you also had John Cena confronting the Shield. And what he actually used was Ryback, and he also used Sheamus to his advantage to go against them. And I got a feeling that this is going to be the next match, either Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania or something. I don't know where they're going to put it, but I got a feeling that Sheamus, Ryback, and Cena are going to beat the Shield, and they're going to dance around in the shower, washing each other off. And in the main event, you got Mark Henry, and he took on Randy Orton. This was an epic match. It went both ways. The crowd was hyped because I understand something. We had Mark Henry coming in and just showing brute force. And Randy Orton on SmackDown, he gets cheers like for days. If you just look at the ending segments of this, when Mark Henry, you can see, okay, the ending segments of these guys, they need to maybe, the way they're doing their wrestling stuff, they need to coat it better. Because at the ending, just the ending segment, just before the Spike DDT actually comes into play, I actually saw Randy Orton throwing Mark Henry into the corner, and then Mark Henry didn't come out of the corner, and he took some time to actually come out of the corner to run into Randy Orton. And I saw what Randy Orton was doing. He had his hands out, and he's like calling him. He's like, come here, come here, come here. Now, I know for a fact that within the wrestling business, a lot of them actually grow their hair out so that they can actually speak to one another, because wrestling is actually two guys doing hectic maneuvers, but they have to be communicating with one another the whole time to play out a good story for everyone at home. And I don't think that actually felt good, because everybody can see Randy Orton when he actually speaks or talks, because he doesn't have long hair. You can see it clearly. And I clearly saw him saying, come here, come here, come here. And he's got his hands out, like waving at him, please come here, to Mark Henry. Because Mark Henry, I don't know, he just took a timeout. He was thrown into the corner and he just chose not to come out. Anyways, when he does come out, he gets thrown straight into Spike DDT. He gets it hit. And then you got Randy Orton calling for the RKO. People are thinking that, Randy Orton's going to Elimination Chamber. But no, Mark Henry throws him to the corner. He just runs into him like a double-handed clothesline, straight into World's Strongest Slam, and that's it. That means that Randy Orton's his position in the Elimination Chamber has been stripped, and now Mark Henry has it. And the ending part was kind of nice, because I'm interested now in actually watching the Elimination Chamber. Because think about it, I'm just interested. I mean, if you look at SmackDown's point of view, I'm interested because the winner goes on for WrestleMania, and if you minus people like Rey Mysterio and those other guys that are involved, and you just look at two main factors at this moment, which is Jack Swagger, Mark Henry. They both have come back at the right time because they're getting ready for WrestleMania, and they both are firing at all cylinders. So don't get like a shocked if you see the ending segment where in the Elimination Chamber the last two guys remaining is Mark Henry and Jack Swagger, because they are firing and they are both on winning streaks. Yeah, no, Mark Henry's first time is actually fighting now since coming back, but no one's actually laid a hand on him. The same goes for Jack Swagger. He's been steamrolling over guys. So I like to see what happens. I mean, for face characters, I think you're gonna get squashed. Either Mark Henry or Swagger is actually winning this. Just my point of view, I thought the SmackDown had a lot of matches. A lot of content. Maybe they could have trimmed a little bit of fat, but I'll give it at least a 4 out of 5 on this effort.
My name's Andrew Weatherall.
Spirituals medium. Stoke Concerts.